Hey everyone! So this video is a little different from what I usually upload on this channel because I will be actually reviewing a book that I've been reading by Jordan Peterson called 12 Rules for Life. And in this video, I'm going to be reviewing the first chapter, which is the first rule. Stand up straight with your shoulders back. I feel like I say this a lot to my vocal students. I always tell them to sing, and posture is very important in singing. You have to stand up straight with your shoulders back. It gives us more confidence, but it also supports our breath. And that's just on a singing level. But in life, Peterson encourages us also to have that posture. But in this chapter, he talks about how we stand up straight metaphysically, on a spiritual level, mental level. He talks a lot about the dominance hierarchy and how real that is in the animal kingdom. In the animal kingdom, dominance is about life or death, access to better food, protection from predators. And that also happens in human societies. We all innately have a dominance calculator for ourselves and for other people that monitors exactly where we are positioned in society. And we evaluate ourselves based on how others treat us. So if we perceive that others are giving us a low value and low status, it actually restricts our serotonin levels, which is that positive hormone. When that is restricted, it actually causes stress and it puts us in crisis mode. On the other hand, if you feel like you are on a higher level, serotonin is flowing plentifully, and that actually allows somebody to delay gratification because they know that it will still be available later. It allows somebody to plan ahead for the future because they are not constantly in a stressed survival mode. So that's how this dominance hierarchy sort of plays out in human society and human interactions. But on the other hand, not only do we evaluate ourselves based on how other people treat us, other people are likewise treating us based on how we conduct ourselves. So for example, if you are not standing up straight and you're frowning or you're slouching, you assume this defeated position, people will look at you and assume that you are defeated. They will assume that you are losing because you look like you're losing. And so not only are we receiving our cues from others, others are also receiving their cues from us. But if we would stand up straighter, if we would speak our mind more, if we would assume just that position and posture of confidence, actually people will reflect that back to us. It becomes a positive cycle instead of feeding a negative feedback loop. And this is called the Matthew's principle, and we actually see this in the Bible. Matthew 25:29. To those who have everything, more will be given. From those who have nothing, everything will be taken. And that can seem pretty harsh and unfair, but it's that positive feedback loop. You amplifying what you already have. But we could also use that in a positive sense. Like if we are willing to stand up straight and we're willing to assume responsibility for ourselves and speak our mind and to face tyranny externally and tyranny internally, because sometimes, honestly speaking, we are our worst critic. We are our worst bully. If we're willing to face that with responsibility and with courage, that can become a good positive feedback loop in our lives. I love how Jordan Peterson captures that with this point. He says, your nervous system will literally respond in an entirely different manner when you face the demands of life voluntarily. And I think that's the key word, is voluntarily. You respond to the challenge instead of bracing for a catastrophe. Have you ever seen two people faced with the exact same situation, but one of them is scrambling for their lives? They're barely surviving, but the other person is able to face it with grace and courage. And I think it's all about the internal shift. Are you facing it voluntarily? You're taking responsibility and you're embracing the circumstance, even though it could be traumatic and it is painful, but you're willing to face it head on. And I think that's what it means to stand up straight with your shoulders back. Also, I love that he says there's little difference between the capacity for mayhem, destruction, integrated, and strength of character. This is one of the most difficult lessons of life. Essentially, what he's saying is that our potential to destroy things is the same potential to create things. And so we all have that potential in us. Maybe you're disappointed. I know I'm often disappointed at myself. I think I've sabotaged myself all the time. I have some goals, but then I sabotage my goals. And I think, man, I am so capable of destroying myself. And yet the idea is that potential in me is also the proof that I can create something, that I can achieve my goals, because that's the strength. It's the same source of power that's inside all of us. And you have the ability, and I have the ability. If you can destroy yourself, you can bring yourself back up again, because you are a powerful person. You're powerful enough to destroy yourself. You're powerful enough to pick yourself back up and to create a good, positive feedback loop in your life. And so I think the challenge that Jordan Peterson actually puts forth in this first chapter of his book is, you know what? Dare to be dangerous. Dare to be powerful. Accept the fact that you have the ability to create some bad things. You also have the ability to make some right decisions. But the hardest part about all of that is taking responsibility for it. It's taking up our cross, bearing the burden of being. So yeah, that is my summary and my own personal review reflection of rule number 1 of Jordan Peterson's book, 12 Rules for Life. Stand up straight with your shoulders back.